Thank you. Oh, I get to stand in front of the stand. So, I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of Astronomers Without Borders in addition to the very specific things. But I think it's important, not just for those of you who don't know about our organization, which I assume not everybody does, but also the fact that what we're doing is based on astronomy, and Eclipse being just an extreme example of that. So this room is a good example of extreme astronomy, like exports. You have to be very careful with this to get the right reference. So, believe it or not, this is how I usually start my presentations about Astronomers Without Borders, because it all started with an eclipse in the first place. This is about international astronomy, and this is something which I explain to people that some of us spend a lot of time going around, and more money going around the world chasing eclipses as much as possible. And I always like to use this slide because it's what my one APOD taken at Jaguar in 2008 in Northwest China. Astronomers Without Borders really began with an eclipse in 1999. That's my little spotting scope is being used to view partial phases in Iran, northwest Iran, Namadan. I use this also as an example of how things are different than you expect. The young child there with Disney characters all over his shorts. And for Americans who don't know anything about Iran except what certain people rant about or get into the news, they don't realize it's a very, very pro-American country. Things are very different than you would expect. And this was the basis of using astronomy to connect people around the world to learn about each other. And as most of you would recognize, Americans need to learn about other people a great deal. So, some different eclipses, and also again I show these to people. 2006 in Turkey with a traditional mother and a younger daughter there. And the point of these is that we share astronomy when we do this. Astronomy is pretty unusual science in that people who are enthusiasts want to share it with everyone. It's accessible to everyone. Ironically, in developing countries where they have less energy, fewer lights, they have better skies than we do. So it is something that everybody can take part in, everybody is interested in. We're sharing here, same eclipse in Africa. You can probably tell which person is the visitor. You look at the arms and legs here. I don't even remember. Somebody in this room may have given me these slides, and I don't remember who anymore. It's been a long time. Who's that, Stefan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I put out a call years ago, and I've been using them ever since. And another one in Africa at the time, sharing, these are students in Egypt. And everybody shares with everybody here. This is back in China in 2008. Babak Kafrashi on the Antarctic continent. When was this? Was this 2003, I think? When there were a couple of icebreakers there. And so we share with everybody as we go around the world. There's an awful lot of interest, obviously, more than 20,000 people apparently at this eclipse observation camp in India, which is, I like to be with like two close personal friends and family or something. 20,000 people is like a nightmare to me. But it isn't just about the eclipses, it's solar astronomy in general. Here's a PST, the Alpha Telescope people are looking through at a school in a line that I don't even know where the end of the line is, but they're waiting out there in the center for quite a long time to take a peek through it. And this is why we love to share things, why we love to share astronomy. Many of you in here are outreach people, sidewalk astronomers, in addition to eclipse chasers. There are a lot of reasons that people chase eclipses. It may be the science, it may be the experience. There are fantastic astrophotographers who don't know anything about astronomy really, they just love the beauty of it. So in astronomy there are many reasons for getting involved, whereas in other sciences they're really interested primarily in the science. This happens to be in Romania, but it could be anywhere. This is why we do what we do when we share astronomy with other people. And this is a Sunday So I ran the 100 Hours of Astronomy Cornerstone Project in the International Year of Astronomy. Global Astronomy Month is a follow-on to that, and Sunday is one day devoted to the sun. This is in Oman, where they're pretty active doing outreach there as well. There could be individual sidewalk astronomers. This is a different event we had, showing one person, the sun, in California. And then there are others at nighttime ones. This is in Erbil in northern Iraq. I actually took that telescope to them. That's a whole other story about the beginning of astronomers without borders, sharing with people there. But astronomy is worldwide, and it's always about sharing. This was during 100 Hours of Astronomy, a very dangerous time in Baghdad, where crowds were targets, but they had 500 people come out because, and this is the other point, we're social animals, and this was a worldwide event. We had as many as 1 million people look through telescopes in one night around the world during this event, and they wanted to be a part of it. So they had 500 people despite the risks, because it was something that was going on and they wanted to share it. So worldwide this was happening. There are those in Bangladesh who made their own t-shirts and banners and everything else. In another country that I forget, I just like the stars on the clothing there. Another typical reason why we do this is in Kathmandu, Nepal, in India, in Iran. Same telescope as in Iraq, but this is, I forget either Peru or Bolivia. Large event in Argentina. One of the, I always look them up and I forget which country they're in, because it could be anywhere. But in North Africa, clearly. Pakistan, the Philippines. For those of us who are European and American and Canadian, you know, it's a lot of us old white men, but in most countries, astronomy is a very young pursuit. And this is typical. College students. Again, sharing with everybody. This is in Brazil during a star party, and everybody gets a chance to look. Okay, so just a little bit about what we do, and then we'll get into these things in particular. So the community programs are really about bringing people together to learn about each other, to participate with each other. There are a lot of reasons for this. One is that we learn about each other when we do this. The other is it gives people a chance to be a part of something bigger. It's not something in the developed world that we are concerned about, because we are a part of many different things. But if you're an amateur astronomer in Uganda and you think you're the only one in the country, it's not only learning that there are others, which is the case and I've actually done, and connect people with each other in their own country, but about being part of something larger. And that's what astronomy is about. It's about being part of something larger. So we connect through these programs. Now, I won't go into all of this. We have a lot of arts and culture programs. Not everybody sees astronomy in the same way. Eclipse is a good example of that. There are people that like to write poetry, or like to take paintings, or their main interest is in getting the perfect photograph. It's an artistic pursuit in a way. For me, I put everything down and I just experience it. But we all have our own reasons, and astronomy is that way. Astronomy is a part of every culture and has been throughout time. If you think about all the things that are in our culture, just words and symbols and everything else that we would not have if we lived on a perennially cloudy planet, there would be no stars. We wouldn't have 5-star reviews. We'd have 5 whatever reviews. And there's just everything. And as you start to look around and notice it, you see it's everywhere. And it's in every culture. So there are many ways to celebrate it, just as there is with any other part of nature. And then Global Astronomy Month, I mentioned, expanded from the 4 days we had in the International Year of Astronomy to all kinds of different things, including online observing events where people can observe from around the world and chat with each other in real time, and many different types of things. This is just part of the schedule for that. And then resource sharing too. And this is something that we've been doing more of later, and it gets to the point that I'll get onto here in a moment about eclipses in particular. We have a program that's how many times have you been someplace where people said, we're doing outreach, we don't have a telescope. And it doesn't take very much. There are people out there doing things. There are programs. There's a top second from the right, astronomy in the Amazon. They were doing astronomy in the schoolrooms. They didn't have a solar telescope. So we raised money for a PST, very inexpensive. I was going to Brazil, I took it to Rio, came and picked it up. And what a big difference for a very small amount of money. So we're crowdfunding for things like that quite often. This is the basis for a lot of it. People ask, where do you get your support? At this point, we do not have any foundation grants and things like that. But Celestron has taken this. Some of you from other countries besides the U.S. know this is the Skywatcher Heritage 130. And but because Celestron doesn't sell it, and Skywatcher doesn't sell it in the U.S., they had it branded for us. They actually provide this for us, doing everything for us. We put out no money for their actual cost. I think it's actually less than their cost. $105 this cost us. It's like way below wholesale. And we sell it for $200, which is a bargain. It's become a huge hit, and we sell many of them, and this is a main source of income. But we are now, and as you'll see, it's necessary to raise money for other opportunities. But this we also use for some of those programs in which we share with other people. This is a school in Puerto Rico. I think everybody knows what happened there. Now, this is not a school torn down, but it's a mess. I was there recently. There is certainly a lot of damage, but for the most part, they are functioning. And cleaning up after the hurricanes here in the school. And the reason I was down there is that we raised money for these schools in conjunction with the science organization. They're professionals, a school district who has particular schools in rural, very poor areas that are greatly in need. The Astronomy Society in Puerto Rico can support them. We raised money for 20 of these little telescopes at our cost was $105, ordinarily $200. So we could get them and ship them down there. And I actually went around here just for the added benefit of having somebody on the ground to help them out. The other things that we helped this with, this is the Girls Astronomy Camp in Nigeria, where we talk about gender issues. We have it rough in some places. There are parts of the country here where women are kidnapped into slavery. So it's certainly a lot worse. That's only a small part of the country, but this is a camp that's run by volunteers, women working at the Nigerian Space Agency, and we support them as much as we can because there's such a huge need. And here they have Galileo scopes. It turns out, as many of you will be familiar with, there were shipping and funding problems on the Nigerian side. So these didn't arrive in time, but they have been used ever since for other events that they've had as a result. Okay, so back to eclipses. So some of the things we've done in sort of a smaller way. So we had a TSC in 2013 that went across Africa, and we had people there, and they were contacting us saying, how can we get eclipse glasses? Again, very small thing, but it's going to make a very big difference. So it went across a lot of areas where we had people who were active. Now remember that in this case, there is a TSC, it is total, but we don't care about the path of totality so much. We care about everybody has an opportunity to witness this, whether it's partial or total. That covered most of the continent. So what we did was we had a little crowdfunding campaign, and we managed to raise enough money to ship over 13,000 pairs of glasses. It doesn't go very far in that community, but we were able to provide them in countries where we had people or knew people that were going over there. And some of the people in this room are those that will help us out by taking glasses we ship to them in the U.S. and then carry them over there as part of their tour, as part of their luggage. Jay Pasikoff most recently has helped out many times. And so it's a small effort, but it's a big impact for those thousands of kids who had the opportunity to look at the sun for the first time. And I'm preaching to the choir here, but you know that when you put these glasses on people and they see the sun for the first time, that's an experience in and of itself for them. And we've had comments like, now the scientists too, because, from the kids, they're looking at the sun for the first time. So the last one was Tanzania. This one, I forget if it's Rwanda or, I think it's Rwanda, I'm not sure. This one I think is again Tanzania. It's funny when you look at these pictures, there's always one kid looking off in a different direction. What he's doing. Well, those are kind of kids' faces again. This is what makes us keep doing this. So, we go in and out with the eclipses, and we do make a difference. You leave those glasses behind, it has an impact. So there is a legacy of that. But we try to keep it going as much as possible. So we had an annular, and I don't have to show you guys about the eclipses that happened there. And of course, the annular last year, that one we didn't do anything in Africa, but we helped in Patagonia. And we raised money there. Okay, then the big one. So what do we do for this? Well, there were companies that gave us, and organizations like AAS, that contacted us and said, how would you like to distribute some glasses? And I said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Now, so Google, of course, one of the big kid science, that's Jeff Bennett, astronomer, writes textbooks as well as Max Goes to the Moon, and those things for kids are very popular. And there were millions that were being sent all around, schools and libraries and obvious choices. So we put out an application form and said, look, you need glasses. Are you underserved in some way? And this is the kind of results that we got. So if you look beyond the schools to some of these things, children of folks with cancer, these are their own words, incarcerated youth in an education program, Liberian immigrants in housing project. These people were not in the library network or the schools, autism school, U.S. Navy ship off the coast of California. Communities hit by 2 tornadoes within 3 weeks. That's pretty deserving as far as I can see veterans with spinal cord injuries. So these are the ones we concentrated on. I have to say that this. Okay. Did this go dead or is it? Okay, so these are the ones, these are the neediest of the needy. And the ones that are going to be completely outside of the normal distribution. I was at a hotel in Casper, Wyoming, and we had some extra glasses. Like everybody else, I carry a bunch with me. And I had like 50 left or something like that. So we went to the front counter, and they'd been dealing with us eclipse chasers for a week. I said, do you guys have glasses? No. Well, okay, here are some. Then we saw the cleaning people and said, do you guys have glasses? Of course they did. And one of them said, I live in a halfway house. I just gave the rest of the glasses. I said, take it. So these guys are going to be left out, even with the immense effort made by Google and others to do this. So this is just my natural focus on these. Okay, so somebody said, actually, I had to revise this slide thanks to Ralph yesterday. I've been guessing that there were more than 100,000 glasses that have been sold and distributed around the country. Ralph says it may be 250 million. Well, okay, this statement is still true, but it's kind of another understatement. So one of our staff said, hey, instead of raising money, why don't we ask them to send us some back? And I thought, wow, we get 50,000 of them for free, we won't have to do this. And on the day of the eclipse, we put out social media, and boom, that's a virus over there, in case it's not biologists too. It went viral. Today Magazine, Chicago Tribune, Smithsonian Magazine. What should you do with your used Eclipse glasses? Smithsonian Magazine, the website. The day after the Eclipse, I saw that it was on there and I looked. The second most popular article was spectacular pictures of the eclipse. The first one was the thing about what you do with your glasses. So it went nuts. Gizmodo, they have like 10,000, 10 million uniques a month. Time Magazine. And the next thing I know, people are writing in and saying, hey, we want to collect glasses. How do we become an official collection center? And we didn't have an answer to that. So we made a form and people could register and put them up on the map. We got 1,000. We never mentioned this. It wasn't even our idea. So all over the country people were collecting and they still are. I get emails every day, where can I send these? And I send the people to the map. And every once in a while somebody comes back and says they're not collecting them anymore. It's a year later, most of them are taking them in still. And they're finding thousands at a time. So how many do we have so far? I don't know. This is poor Scott Roberts, who on the day of the eclipse I said, or the day before, I said, hey, we're going to collect glasses. Can you accept them for us? Because we don't have any place to put it. He said, yeah, sure. Now, Scott's the CEO of Explore Scientific, former VP at Mead and a member of the board, just a super guy. And they've been inundated. They had to rent containers, shipping containers to fill and store the glasses. And they have volunteers who come in and vet them. You have to look at every single pair to make sure that they aren't damaged and make sure that they are, we can't test them all, so we just take the brands, the ones we can tell if they're, you get used to looking at counterfeits. They're not like the originals, and so the good brands and manufacturers, and so it's become an immense thing. There's something that we're going to do, we just didn't have time to do, to ask people, just like Doubting Thomas yesterday. Okay, this is the first time you've been in the eclipses, in a total eclipse, in the moon's shadow. What was it like? What would you tell people about 2024? We may still do this, we just haven't had time to go about it. Just to record it. Maybe a little video clips or something. It won't be the same excitement, but, who forgets their first eclipse? So we may still do it before 2024. Okay, well, everybody knows what these are pictures of, and this is what's coming up. Now, and there has been some attention paid to the annulars here as well. Now remember that what we're interested in for the most part is not necessarily totality. It's the experience. What totality does, like we did last year, I'm in Southern California. We have eclipses where there's a partial eclipse visible in Southern California. No one pays any attention. This time people were crazy to see the eclipse, even though where we were was the lowest magnitude partial eclipse in the continental United States. But they knew about it, so they wanted to see it. And that's what totality does in terms of getting people looking up at the eclipse. So here's an annular, but if you look at everybody who is going to be able to see this eclipse, at least partially, most of the world is in that. So we may have 3 million glasses, but we need 3 billion for this one. And so what we're going to do is distribute these, I'm not even sure I mentioned, but the reason we were getting them back was we told people we're going to pass them on to schools in South America in 2019 and 2020. We have enough that there are people who want them over in Asia as well, and we will do that as well. I believe that once we get rid of most of the glasses that we have in stock now, if we put out a call for more, we'll get a lot more. I don't know that we'll get 1 million, but hundreds of thousands. I wouldn't be too surprised because they're still out there. And anybody, by the way, who says, "Can I keep them until the next one?" I say, absolutely, hang on to them. You'll use them again. But if you want to donate them to someplace else. And people are delighted to not have to throw them away. So, and of course, next year, and again there. So we have a big need, and again, these are small things that can make a big difference. Now, what can we do besides just handing out the glasses? Because the glasses are a tool. They allow you to see the eclipse, but what do you do with that? So we have some education programs that we're moving more into. It's not our original mission, but it turns out that we have opportunities that we can take advantage of because of our network. This is something that we have in Tanzania, a reasonable, sort of an average classroom there. I guarantee the poster came from outside of the country. They wouldn't ordinarily have it. They don't have any labs or anything, but the person on the left there, a retired Lutheran minister, started this program. He was with church missions, and he's an amateur astronomer. So he took little telescopes and started doing something there. And, of course, it was a big hit. So this is something that continues nationwide. We're building a science center over there as well. So this is the big question. The effort last year in the United States was obviously immense and extraordinarily successful. But the one thing that I think was missed is the fact that we wanted everybody to know about the eclipse because it's an inspiration for STEM education. It gets people inspired to look at science, but there was not really anything happening afterwards. Except the one little thing we did, and it's entirely insufficient. Again, thanks to Google, and we had other partners, Rainbow Symphony being a big part of what we were doing. So we started a program that we call Building on the Eclipse and Education Programs, and we have to come up with a shorter name than that, or a cool acronym. And this is the idea for this. First, the idea was to help the schools prepare for the eclipse by providing the classes if necessary, and activities and resources. That was all out there. We were just vetting it for them. The one thing was there was such an embarrassment of riches in terms of activities that teachers really wouldn't know what to do or where to find them. So we could help them with that. For the people that didn't have classes and didn't have any money, we had a crowdfunding platform that we set up called peer-to-peer type funding where they can go to their community and raise the money there. Or if need be, they can we can put out to our large community and say, these people can't even raise money in their community to help them out. So the preparation for the eclipse phase of this, it sort of didn't happen because, this was all during the summer. It was very difficult. Everything started very late for us, too late. We might have done it in the spring, but then there's a question of, and Terry will come up afterwards and argue, yeah, we should have done that. I don't know if it would have worked out better because it was, a previous school year, but it was not something we were able to really do at that point. But after the eclipse, we had a little spectroscope that I'll show you. That I just showed you prematurely. And crowdfunding support again, 140 different activities, and it's not just about astronomy, it's using sunlight. So this is what you can do with light, and pretty much everything's based on the sunlight that's coming in one way or another. So you can study biology and chemistry and all different things with a simple spectroscope that shows you a few different things. Community support, teacher training, and again, we didn't just want to keep this in classrooms. This would include other educational systems such as summer camps or boys clubs and girls clubs and others where they were able to do this, museums, after school programs. So it wasn't necessary to use an entire curriculum. You could pick and choose with help from the educators who put it together to say, these are the things you want to do with your particular kids. Doing it in the schools is great, but it's not the only place. And this is the spectroscope. Comes in a poster. It's produced by Rainbow Symphony. They've donated a number of these to the program that are still being given away. Uses one of their little diffraction transmission gratings. And it's got a rough calibration there so that you can actually, it's developed by SBO for their outreach under a NASA grant. They can give them away, we can't give them away, because we have to produce them. But they're still $4 a piece. And then we help people raise money for them. So So this is a little bit more of what I said about the details of it. So over 140 resources. All the different support is based on somebody who's doing this has had her own NASA grants, works a lot on those things, was the Director of Education at Adler, Lindsay Barlow, some of you may even know her. And she really knows what the teachers need, and I kind of do too because I married one. And again, thanks to Rainbow Symphony for the thousands that were donated for free to those who could not afford to get them. So we had a lot, pretty much everything set up. Participants came from all over the country. You can see as far as the people that registered, on the left-hand side, maybe hard to read, but included planetarium staff, science teachers, PTO presidents, literary coach, so it's all kinds of different in addition to regular schools. And then we have a breakdown here, and the reason we have minimum and maximum for the grades and the totals is that we asked them in the pre-survey how many will be served by the program taking part in your institution. So they gave a range, and so somewhere between 42,000 and 55,000 were represented by what was expected here. Now, I have to say right here that this is the pre-survey. This is not the final results. Follow-through was amazingly poor for the most part. And there are a number of reasons for that, but it's still kind of mysterious. And we're still looking at that, and we are continuing to sort of rebooted the program for this year. And so we're going to continue it into the new school year. But it's a little mysterious as to why people did not follow through. We know that the teachers, they've got enough to do, but these are the best of the best in a way. Science teachers who really wanted to do this, and we gave them everything that we could to keep it from being a burden. And the follow-through is still really surprisingly low. So we are going to continue with that. I mean, the program was built, and it's there, and it requires almost nothing to run it. It's really a couple of people who run the program. That's it. Everything else exists. Interesting. Okay, so this is interesting in terms of when they entered here. This is surprising to me. We've got 83% of the people. Teachers said that their school would be in session during the eclipse. That doesn't jive with what I've heard in general, but I think this is just a biased sample, because the people who are more likely to be in session, or would be in session, were more likely to take part. If they weren't going to be in session, it wasn't as big a deal. So I think that's just sample. Okay, they weren't, I'm surprised it's not even 100%, they've never been involved in the program. They were interested in lessons about the eclipse and studying after. And here's another one. 47% thought that their audience, that is their students, would view totality locally. So we got a very high proportion in the eclipse path. And again, those are the ones that are most interested. And so that says something, I think, more about our sample than anything else. So educators about themselves. Well, the people that said that they wanted to be in this program like to do STEM. These are medians based on 5-point scale. So more than a half or more of the people strongly agree they'd like to do STEM activities. So a big number on the right side says, yeah, most of the people feel that way very strongly. They really like doing STEM. It's very important. They, for the most part, felt knowledgeable about what they were doing and confident about teaching about the eclipse. And, about half felt that they were in pretty good shape as far as teaching this stuff and having the tools too. So it's kind of a select group, and it's not necessarily what we're aiming at because we want to reach the others, but this is what we call a convenience sample. This is what we got really right before the eclipse. This is about how they felt their students were like. That the students would, so they like doing STEM, they believe they're able to do STEM. So these are very high numbers. So this really is kind of a select sample, I think. The students believe it's important, And they thought they would be inspired to do more after watching the eclipse, which is nice. We don't have a follow-up saying if they were or not, but everybody was looking for this as something important. Now, South America. So, Explore Scientific, again, thanks to Scott Roberts, who many of you here probably know, they have this trailer, 53-foot, 17-meter trailer that they have used as a mobile showroom. And they've decided they don't want to haul that around anymore, and so they're going to donate it to us, with the idea being maybe we can pack it up with a whole bunch of Eclipse glasses, fit it up, and send it down to South America as a mobile classroom. And this is just a few pictures about what this is like. So it's not huge, but there are plenty of opportunities for doing things in here as a mobile classroom and somewhat of a mobile museum. Also, storage space for taking telescopes along to do outreach, solar outreach, and so on. So these are the things that we can do. This is why we would want to do this. The different ideas, and this is a little different than what we started in the United States, but we have different opportunities, and more importantly, it's a different culture. And I think that there are ways in which we can connect better. For example, the idea of cultural connections with astronomy, more traditions, especially outside of the cities, with villagers who are connected with the stars through their own lore, are things that would be different. And I'm not going to read the words here, but you can see that there are a number of different ways that we can do this and how. So this is really an introduction to STEM in terms of how science works. And how many, those of you who do outreach and you say something about some star that's light years away, how do you know that? Well, that to me is the most interesting question of all. And the people that really want to know that, that's what I love explaining. How do you know that? How do you figure that out? And that's what this is about, just getting some understanding of how science works and why. So these are the possibilities. Now this is a wish list. I don't know how much it'll take in order to do that. In somebody who uses a heliostat-fed solar telescope mount with an observatory, of course I would like to have something like that mounted on there. It's not a big deal, but you know, it's not the first, but obviously spectroscope and various other ways of doing things as far as the education, but the things that we want to do that add to the program that we have the ability to do because of our community and our connections are things like having real-time sessions with other classrooms around the world and sharing observations and cultural stories. This goes right to our mission of connecting people through astronomy, but it adds another dimension that is not part of the programs. And we're just going to focus on what we do best and what isn't being done by others that we think is a good idea, and that's some of it. The other things here are all good science things that you hope to find in a little museum of sorts like this, as well as outreach while this thing is traveling around. So this is a wish list. This came to us at the beginning of the year. So we've been rushing to make plans, get a project plan. Who's going to fund it? Well, hopefully next year I'll be able to tell you who did. So we'll see. We have plenty of ideas. There are a lot of sources, but it's going to be a lot of work. Additional things, professional development. I've learned to use PD, that means teacher training. And the public outreach, of course, you're there anyway. And this would be of interest to a lot of the communities there. We're hoping that we'll get support one type or another from the federal governments as well as provincial and municipal. But I think the better opportunities are on the maybe the U.S.-based international corporations that are down there who will, well, first of all, they'll have money. Some of the countries is going to be kind of tough. So, but there are tremendous funding opportunities. If there's anybody in here that I thought I could make a pitch to, there's a lot to be gained here, but I'm not going to do that here because that's not where we are. So, this is a preliminary idea. I don't know if this is right or not. one of the people on the team who's an entrepreneur and an amateur astronomer is on our board. He drew up this path that starts over over here. What is it? That's Buenos Aires, and follows this path here. The idea being it'll end up down here in 2020, be up here in La Serena area in 2019. I have no idea if this makes sense or not. It's the one thing that I can say in terms of what supports this idea is if you look at the population, you can hit a large part of the population there. But then going across through Paraguay is an awful lot less. I don't know what funding opportunities are going to be in Paraguay. So it's just, it's a first shot at, let's see how this works. It goes all the way up into Bolivia. You can see the limit up here, so to me that's pretty far north. I don't know if they're going to be that excited about it, but maybe we come across here, northern Argentina. It's just, that's to be determined, and it's going to depend on who funds it and where they want it to go to a very large extent. And maybe there'll just be long stretches where we'll just pull through and stop once in a while for the few people that are there. Because there are areas in here, up in this area, where there just aren't any people. The positive, of course, there is. So the next question then is 2024. What we're hoping is that there are corporations who will look far enough ahead in order to see that this is not only something good for their company down in South America, but that eventually this developed facility with the experience we have will be back up doing the same thing in 2024. And if you think about what it would have been like to have this mobile classroom, exhibit, outreach, awareness center going around the country with tremendous publicity. Last year we got huge publicity because we had a gigantic crowd. It would, again, maybe we would have been able to stimulate more classrooms to take part. Maybe this would have been the substitute for those that were not able to or were not in session. We don't really know, but by 2024, we're going to know what we can really do. There are some corporations that have headquarters along the Eclipse path or very close to it that I think could be very interested, but it's a tough sell. And, everything's a tough sell. When you run a nonprofit, when you're in the deal, everything's kind of a tough sell. So, what could it mean? Well, even though it's not too early to start planning this, we're kind of busy taking care of it. Taking care of business over the next few years, see what happens. So essentially this is the plan. This is the draft plan. But we're moving beyond that very quickly, and we will be approaching funders for it soon. And we know that everything we have planned here is capable of being done. We have support from the observatories in Chile. Chile's going to be no problem at all. Argentina is just always a problem in many respects, and we will see what we can do there. And hopefully this thing will be well developed and able to support whatever programs are going on for the next Eclipse, where we use lessons that we've learned and see what we can do. But that's a long ways off at this point. So I usually end with this because in astronomers on board, in general, we're all used to the idea of thinking globally and acting locally, because you can think about the whole planet, but you can only act locally. Well, technology has turned that around, and we actually think locally. The idea of our organization is we have people that are amateur astronomers who are doing things around the world. They have events, but we combine them into a global program. So while we are thinking locally about what we're doing, we get people to go beyond that and think about how they are a part of the global community through astronomy, which connects us all together on Spaceship Earth as we go around. So that's the idea. And with that, I probably have time for questions because nobody's told me to shut up yet. Thank you.
left, so interesting project you have. Are there any questions, perhaps? Yes?
Yeah, Mike. Well, it's not working, yeah?
Yes, it's working.
Is it?
Yeah, I think put it up real close.
Well, astronomy without borders, that's a wide topic. And I understand that solar total eclipses is just really a very, very small part of that. And you insisted a lot on eclipse glasses. I think this is just a very, very small thing. Well, and talking about total eclipses, I would suggest maybe to do more for children, especially for children. And I noticed that your 83% is just incredible, like 83%.
Yeah.
So this seems to show that something failed here. So I would suggest to use the method of projection, the projection method to project the images on the screen. Because well, people from education program, we have the same problem in France. Very recently, we had a nice eclipse in the south of France, and the minister, our minister of education, issued an order, an order that children should be kept in a classroom. It was official. And this is my impression is that this business of eclipse glasses failed for children. Because the education people, they are afraid. Well, first of all, this is personal. So, eclipse glasses is something individual, and this is not a good thing for education. We are talking about astronomy, so the sky for everybody and things like this. So it should be more like sharing. And when you use a small telescope and do a projection, so there you share. You have one telescope per classroom. And additionally, this telescope can be used for much more, not just at the time of the eclipse, but could be used in a classroom for example, to look at the moon. I think the moon is one topic, a very fundamental topic for education, for learning the calendar and things like this. So watching the moon is a little part which could be used with the same telescope.
Yeah, let me answer that. First of all, one of the problems is if you run global programs, anything you do is going to be very, very small because you have an audience of 7 billion now. So that always is a problem. I agree that the more people we can reach, the better. One of the things about our first classes is it's very, very easy. Because sometimes we do what will have the impact, a small impact on the most number of people, sometimes the biggest impact on a small number of people. It's impossible to do everything. We don't have the ability to hand out hundreds and hundreds of telescopes to different schoolrooms. So I agree with all the things that you say, and we will do as much of that as we can. There are just limits, and the idea of the spectroscope is about the kids having ownership. They build these themselves. It's a little kit, and then they keep them. So I agree with you. That's the best idea. They're invested in it themselves. So that's a good thing. So we'll do the best we can, Serge. It's just such a big project, but I agree with all the points.
You have to share.
Sharing is very important. Just giving is not quite the same. I agree.
So it's time for one question.
Unfortunately, Serge has almost said everything I wanted to say because I'm really about the sharing aspect. The way, and Jim Beschrijving has said this before, the way these eclipse glasses are built, like glasses, like the 3D glasses in cinemas, people think they have to keep them on all the time and they're theirs and they can't share them. And much better like these things where you have these in frames. You can hand them around in a whole group.
Well,
You have to teach people that partial eclipses are slow things.
actually, what we did with the glasses we had, since we put out a form and had requests for twice as many glasses as we had for 2017, as we could do, we told people you're going to get half as many as you asked for, and you'll share them with everybody. And so I agree with you. Well, I had a question.
No, that was not my main point. The main point is you don't need glasses, you don't need telescopes. Just teach people to do visual projection and do it right.
All of those things are true and may be part of it, but at this point, you know, we'll think about
This is
that.
much better than technical thing, because you don't need a mysterious instrument or mysterious materials like in these glasses, and you can have a much better learning experience. This is my
Yes, there's different disagreement on that. My experience is that people looking directly at it are always going to have a more personal experience. That's the way I feel, and that's what I've experienced a number of times. But that's a detail that we can worry about later. So
just one more.
Well, I'll just ask about the point when trying to vet 3 million pairs of glasses. That's going to be quite
it is quite
but I think that one of the important things that we need to look at in a sample like that is not only the marble technology. So, if there are any that really are questions,
You mean in terms of collecting data during the process?
yeah, or identify them as being caution that are not circulating.
Well, they're right now they're going in the trash, and I'll talk to you because if you want the hundreds of thousands to get rejected, I will send it right to you.
Well represented.
There are plenty to look at. Let's talk about it.